I'm Ronald from Rural District. I'm so happy for this study because of the objectives, but my concern goes to the aspect of security. When you do come to our health center 3s, majority of them, we don't have designated or well-established laboratories. Sometimes we just improvise, just get a room and you tell someone be working from there. Now, we've had issues of theft of batteries of our solar, even some solar panels. So I don't know whether we looked into that, what could be the security, because telling an in charge of a center 3 that you provide good security, shall we have something like a cabin where it's going to be kept, things of that nature. Thank you very much.
And I think these are some of the suggestions that we would want from you also to see. How do we keep it secure? If you say that we need to create a cabin and have it secured in a corner, maybe with some metal bars, then we need to go for that. But these are some of the suggestions that you think, because you know the place better, you know what can work, what might not work. Because in addition to this, we shall have, say, a solar panel to help charge the battery when power is not there. How do we secure that? If it is secured on the roof with some metals, is it secure enough? Or do we have to put it indoors and we just put it outside to charge during the day and the evening we carry it inside? As I've seen in many places they do that. But some people secure them with some metal on the roof. And these are some of the suggestions that we would want and maybe try to implement those.
Yeah, so first, thank you for raising that concern. I think it's a very important one. Obviously, these machines are expensive. They also come with a laptop, so the laptop also has to be secure and can be carried away. The solar batteries, the batteries also can be carried away. So I think, really this is, as Achilles said, it's going to depend on, each site is going to be probably different, I assume. And the security needs will be somewhat different, and we'll have to work with you during the training to figure out and identify, who's responsible for the device, for the laptop, for the battery. Is there a place where we can lock them? If not, is that something we can create? These instruments are also quite portable, right? So is it, can they be taken to somewhere safe, right? Especially the laptop, is there one person who can be designated to take it home or something? I mean, I think every health center will need to have its own solution, but the issue of security is a very important one. I think for the program as well, if we can't show that we can keep these devices securely, then it's not going to make sense for the program to scale it up at Health Center 3s. Right? So that is part of the challenge that we have, but I'm hopeful that we can overcome it because, as Dr. Stavia said, if we can really deliver this testing at the Health Center 3 level, where patients are near kind of the community, that's how we're going to find all of those missing sort of TB patients. Right? But this is definitely a challenge that we'll need to address.
Okay, thank you. And that is my name. My concern is on the gene expert. So one module gene expert or machine. And then take an example of a facility which is going to participate in this, which has a high volume of patients. For example, they might be having like 10 samples a day. So are they going to be selective or segregated and they work on two? Because I believe the turnaround time is the same. So are they going to be segregated or we are going to actually maybe put a fridge to make this sample viable?
Yeah, I think from our data, and this probably say for a particular passage, the numbers which we have observed over time probably are adequate to be done. But maybe there are some facilities which have 10 or more samples a day.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. In the data that we've seen so far, that we've collected from many of the health centers, we have not seen, on average, we're seeing something around maybe 30 patients a month, right? So some are a little bit more and some are a little bit less than that. There might be, but despite the average, there might be days where there are patients, like you were saying. And so I think, again, that's one of the challenges of delivering this testing on site. And so each site will have to come up with how they want to sort of handle that. Do they ask some patients to come back? Do they prioritize ones who are HIV infected? Or they prioritize, children, for example? So when there are, so basically with this device, you can do about 4 tests a day, right? Because each test takes about 2 hours. So in one working day, you can do maybe 4 or 5 tests. So if there are more patients than that, then you will have to come up with what you think works best at your health center for how to deliver the testing and trying to achieve the goal of making sure patients are tested and diagnosed as fast as possible. Right? But I don't think there's going to be one answer for every health center.
I've been told to introduce myself. I'm Ramiza Innocent. I'm from St. Francis Healthcare Services in Jail. Thank you very much for the presentation. In addition to his question, you say data tells you that facilities would, on average, test about 10 samples. Have you anticipated that now that we're going to have gene expert machines in particular facilities, that the neighboring facilities will get to know and start sending their patients to those facilities, where now the load will go up? And what happens when their load goes up? Then question 2 is about data collection. Previously, you've been taking pictures. Is that going to continue? Now that you're giving us laptop, what is going to be the mode of data collection? I was thinking, I don't know, because if you are going to have laptops, are they going to be connected to internet? There is going to be continuous communication, flow of data. Are we going to be actively involved? Unlike in the past where we're taking pictures and that was passive involvement in data collection. So a facility is going to be actively involved in collecting data. Then I was thinking about, is it possible that we can have an app, all right, where maybe in facilities that people, well, you're going to train people to use computers, but in case people are not computer literate, can we think of part of an app where people can enter data on their smartphones and directly send to the database, the national database, something of that sort?
One thing that is going to continue, we shall continue to take photos and continue to collect data for that. As you know, the laptop is, all of you have experience with the Gene Expert, the 4 module. It has a desktop on site, and that desktop is the one which helps to patch in information for the patient and then be able to generate the results. So the laptop is going to play that role in this case. It's going to be the one that is going to type in the information and generate it. And probably for now, the information will be captured at those sites for patient care and will also be recorded into the registers. It's not going to be centrally sent as for now to NTR, but it's a risk that in the future probably that may come, but it's not for now.
Yeah, no, I think that's right. So the laptop is specifically to operate the Gene Expert instrument, right? So we don't want it being used for other things because, as you know, that you can introduce viruses, you can introduce all sorts of things which cause the laptop to malfunction. So just like the desktops that are used at the hospitals, they're really supposed to be restricted to just operating the Gene Expert machine. The data collection that you guys have been doing with the phones, that will continue, right? Because remember, half of the health centers won't receive a laptop, right? Or a Gene Expert device. They'll be continuing. So we want all of the data collection to be the same. We are not planning to involve the staff in data collection other than sending photos, mostly because we want to minimize any additional workload, right, that you have to do. Extracting data and entering it takes time, right? And one of the things that you all have told us is that you don't have lots of extra time. right? So that's why we want to take on that burden. So just we'll continue to ask you to take photos, and we will extract the data. But for the intervention health centers, we'll be sending the data back as a report card. Is there one more question?
There's one question which is,
What was your third question?
The health facilities, other health facilities now in the, and
Yeah, I mean, I think that's one of the things that we'll have to monitor is to see, we know what your patient volume was the year before, you know, and then we can be able to assess, is that changing considerably compared to what it was before? And, you know, how we would deal with that, that's, you know, an interesting question.